Right. We need to have a discussion. The game, obviously, today, we lost to Liverpool, and I'm not happy about that in any way, shape, or form. I felt Liverpool were lucky to win. It was a good free kick, don't get me wrong, but I felt it was a free kick that wasn't supposed to be a free kick. The foul wasn't a foul. Liverpool were very lucky. Let's start from the top. In the first half, Liverpool didn't really play anything. If I was to credit Liverpool with anything, I'd say the defense was a bit decent. At best, that's what I'll say. Konate wasn't really in the game. He was just only roughing up Gyökeres. I don't see that as defense because he was not even looking at the ball. Yet the referee let it slide. Van Dijk was only the defender that was playing well and actually looked like he was even threatening, and he looked like he was good on both ends, both on the attack and the defense at the point in time. The offense, though, as I said, Van Dijk being the only one that looked threatening, was non-existent. Wirtz, the player they signed for club record, Premier League record, was playing rubbish. Loose passes, heavy touches, overhit passes, you name it. He's not ready for the Premier League, at least not yet. The players were looking for cheap fouls, Mo Salah especially. How many times do you see the ball coming and Mo Salah is already diving to the ground before the ball is even in contact with the player or himself? I wonder what Liverpool are doing. How they end up winning this game is pure luck. We should have scored so many times. And aside from that, we should have had penalties, which is another thing I'm going to go on to. So that was Liverpool. For Arsenal, we had a good first half. There was no end product though. In the final third, the passes that needed to get into the box to Gyökeres weren't really coming in. And when they were going over. Gyökeres, the people were jumping on him. And now let's just stay on Gyökeres for a second, right? When people talk about Gyökeres, why is it that we have so many people jumping on Gyökeres, right? When they say he's a player that's come from Portugal and he's not going to make it in the Premier League. Why have you got players dragging him, holding on to him? You tell me in the comments, why do we have people dragging onto Gyökeres? Gyökeres is there, and there's no service to him. You see Saliba got taken off early. That was unfortunate. But Mosquera stepped in, and I have to praise Mosquera. Stepping in that big game at Anfield, 3 games into the season, you've just only come to the Premier League, mate. And to be able to play that kind of, football that you've played, to stay calm, even when the Anfield crowd starts getting on the players, to stay calm in that situation, I have to give my hat, take my hat off to you. You played well, mate. You played well. Timber, the penalty before the halftime came through, the referee looked at that and decided he wasn't going to say anything. VAR, nothing. I don't know why, but only the Premier League, we have the VAR that is non-existent. You have the VAR in every other league in the world and it works instantly. You have the offside, the automatic offside VAR thing they use now in the Champions League and in the league. It works perfectly well in every other league. Go watch the leagues. When it comes to the Premier League, it's the only time you find us deciding for so long and sometimes not even going to the VAR. How are they making offside decisions without using the offside stuff that we're supposed to have? Automatic stuff. You explain that to me. If you say we always cry Pgmol, please explain that. I don't want to talk about the first 2 Liverpool games in the season that came through. That's none of our business. What we're talking about is the game we played against them today. And I'm not saying we should have won because we didn't score. Okay? We didn't score. We should have won, but we did not score. But we could have had penalties that could have given us a chance to score. Because not only Timber, but Calafiori too. We should have had Calafiori, a penalty for Calafiori. We should have had a penalty after they scored the goal with Szoboszlai when the corner came in from Declan Rice and he's handled the ball. And the talk is he's handled the ball in within the midst of players struggling for the ball. But when the pictures show and the videos show afterwards, you can see he's behind all that squabble and he's handled the ball. And yet people still say he didn't touch the ball. How is it possible that you can stay and look at Arsenal and say that, you know, hi, Levy, and thank you for joining us. I don't know how it is that you can look at Arsenal and say we didn't deserve to win that game today. People look at the free kick and say, oh, this comes down to little margins, you know, the special wonder goal and all that bullshit. But it shouldn't come to that when penalties are not being called. When you don't have penalties being called, you should be looking at the referees, the Pgmol. I'm not complaining about Liverpool here. I've already told you Liverpool didn't really play well themselves either, but they scored a good free kick, right? But for us, Arsenal, we've been robbed again. How many times do we have to get robbed every time? Only for people to come later and say, Butlers, you've bottled the league, and all that talk. If you're coming in, give us a like, subscribe, and let us know your comments, your thoughts in the comments right there. I feel that Arsenal, not only being robbed, are not being, you know, are being underestimated. For the fact that we've gone there without Saka, Odegaard didn't start. Eze that we signed didn't start the game. If we can go there with the kind of players we went with, started the game, and still come out of there with a lucky free kick, well, not lucky free kick, but a lucky chance that gave them a brilliant chance to score a free kick. If we could have left there with a point, the narrative would be so different. If we could have left there with 3 points, no one would be able to accept that. But putting that aside, right? If you're looking at Timber's great play, you're looking at Zubimendi also. Zubimendi was everywhere. With the Arsenal, at the point in time, I've been an Arsenal fan for a long time, having watched Arsenal play, having seen Arteta's tactics and the way we set up for games from the season that he's come in to now. I'm telling you, watching the players and this whole need for him buying players that play in multiple positions, seeing the way that he's gone about it and the way that he's set up these players, you're not even telling what position who's playing anymore. You're having Zubimendi in the defense at a point in time playing centre-back. You're having Declan Rice playing centre-back at a point in time also. You're seeing Calafiori all the way in midfield. You're seeing Gabriel on the left. People thought Mosquera was going to come in and Gabby was probably going to be going. He didn't go anywhere. Arsenal played very well. VAR was a shambles. Szoboszlai's free kick. Now let's talk about that free kick. On that free kick, I think he said he took a risk. So for me, if he says he's taking a risk, then I'm not going to say he meant to score that. Okay? He's taking a risk and it paid off. Good goal. That's it. Nothing more to say. But the foul before the free kick shouldn't have happened. The amount of times that Arsenal was supposed to get fouls and the referee didn't give us those fouls is mind-boggling. But each time a Liverpool player gets touched just a little bit, the referee already had the whistle in the mouth ready to blow. It's a football game. If you're going to call fouls for one team, call fouls for the other team. Don't get pressured. I felt the referee, the occasion was bigger than him. The game was bigger than him. He's a no-name referee. I didn't know him. I don't think anybody can name the referee here. We don't know this referee and he's trying to make a name for himself. That's all it is. Because he's in a game of that magnitude, 3 games into the season, and you're giving shambolic calls like that. You're not calling penalties. A clear Stonewall penalty in your front, Timber, in the box 18. When we talk about football and start complaining about the referee, it doesn't make sense anymore. If we complain about the football and saying, oh, the way we played here, we didn't press enough or stuff like that, that should be what we should be talking about, not the referee. We shouldn't be coming up here talking about the referee and how Pgmol have robbed us again. This should not be a conversation. We should be talking about, okay, we didn't play well, Liverpool didn't play well, they scored a nice free kick. That should be the conversation. But it can't be the conversation where we have 3 penalties that we should have got at least 1. If you want to do all that to make Liverpool not lose the game, at least give us one of our penalties. It makes it fair, in my opinion. Now, we'll move on to Eze in a bit. Well, let's talk about the fact that there was no creative midfielder when we started the game. There was no Eze or Odegaard starting the game. What Arteta was thinking then, I don't know. Maybe Odegaard with the injury, Eze coming in new, but still, you should take the risk with Eze. Eze has played in the Premier League already. You should play him, or at least start him as soon as the second half starts. He should be coming on. He should have been coming on at that point in time, and Martinelli should have come off at that point in time. If that's what you wanted to do, you should have made it happen already. Martinelli had a good game, don't get me wrong. He was winning a lot of duels. Himself and Merino, as soon as they were taking off, the duels that we were winning, we started losing them. And Liverpool started getting more brave. It wasn't anything about the fans. It wasn't anything about their play. It was the fact that the people that were winning most of the duels in that game for us were taking off. But besides this, it's the third game of the season. There's still 35 games to go. And obviously, Liverpool will drop points. This is inevitable. Before you see another team do what Arsenal have done before, which is unbeaten in a season, it's going to take a long, long time. Probably Arsenal again. Who knows? Kirkers. Now, when I spoke about Madueke in one of my videos that I posted before, I spoke about how Madueke was, going to be the player that would shine the most. A lot of Arsenal fans, when we signed Madueke, did not want Madueke in the team. But Madueke has come into the team and he's played fantastic, in my opinion. Each game, he's been getting better. Now, that's a sign of a player that is going to do well at the club. He played decent against Bilbao. Remember the passes the cross that he also gave to Gyökeres that he could have scored for his second header that hit the bar, that was Madueke. He came on with energy in that game. He played on the left then. Since Saka's injury, he's now moved to the right. And you can see what he's capable of doing on the right-hand side. I feel like with Madueke, with a few more games, we're going to see someone that's scoring, and he might explode on the scene because he has the opportunity in this Arsenal team to go forward, express himself, and link up with the forward play. Because when it comes to the back, the defense was solid. Liverpool did not dribble into our box 18 and score us. The last time we lost to a Big 16 was 2 years ago. And that was to Man City. That was the last time we lost to a Big 16. Now, looking at Liverpool, having taken 9 points from all these games they play, some people say, oh, what about when they get together, they get Isak and whatnot? Well, we'll find out today if they get Isak or not. We'll find out. But for Guehi, I don't know. We'll find out also and see if they get him. In the first half, Kerkers got cooked. In the second half, he locked in. He saw himself being embarrassed in his new home by Madueke, a player that most people did not think was going to be that player to play. Eventually, come up with the goal. Sorry about Madueke. Cooked him in first half, second half he locked in. Fair play to him. Some people are saying he's going to go on to be a great Arsenal player. Some Arsenal fans say also, I'm not going to call names, but let me say this to the Arsenal fans that are either blaming Arteta, saying Arteta sexuals and all that, or those that are blaming, certain players, or even Raya. Touch grass. Touch grass. You guys are focusing your energy on the wrong people. If you call yourself supporters, and I'm not trying to say you should kiss your ass or kiss ass at every single thing that the club does or the manager does. I'm saying you need to know sometimes where to direct your anger. And in this case, it's not at the club. We missed Saka, we missed Havertz. Saliba's injury is a worry, and let's hope that is nothing too serious. I heard he rolled his ankle in training or whatever at the start of the game or whatever it is, but let's hope he comes back. We don't want Saliba injured. We want Saliba in this team because we want to be able to win the league this season or win something major this season. And it might be a blessing in disguise that these injuries are happening early with Odegaard, Saka, you know, Havertz. We got Jesus coming back from injury and all, but let's just hope and pray that the season or the next few games, Arsenal can turn it around and possibly get back to the top of the table. I think that's about all the points I wanted to cover. I was a bit angry before I started the video, but technical difficulties seem to have wiped my anger away. Yeah, Arsenal unfortunately lost today. Liverpool with a win. Big up to Liverpool. Congratulations on your win. Thank the Pgmol for the assistance. And yeah, you can call me salty or not, but whatever. Leave your comments in the section right there, like and subscribe. And I'll see you all later. Peace.